more registered sex offenders in Texas than in California by a lot. There are 10% of the nation's sex offenders live in Texas. 10% of them. It's enough to fill out area and say them, but you'll never hear them talk about that. But they'll tell you about black on black crime. Like black people might say fuck them kids, but they do it. You know what I mean? It's true. It is. It's true. It's true.
Attention, player haters and overrated disbelievers of all kinds. I stand before you today 10 toes down as the bearer of bad news. Y'all done fucked up.
What's happening? We're gonna get into this. The black fatigue thing. I kind of never jumped on that bandwagon, but the question is white crime crime? Because it's not really viewed as criminal activity in America. I think because America was basically built on criminal activity by white people, white people don't look at crime when white people are committing crime as crime. It's glorified. It's not just glorified, it's justified, it's desensitized. It's like not really. It's baked into the American culture of not a big deal, right? And I say that in this way because people will use like what black on black crime. It's the music, it's entertainment, right? There's plenty of violent white music, but it doesn't count. It doesn't make things worse, right? There are plenty of white entertainment criminal shows that a vast majority of them are based on a true story, which, in my opinion, desensitizes, you know, um, people to look at white people as criminals. You know, is the mafia real? Oh, the mafia was not supposed to be in existence until like a month or two ago, when all of a sudden basketball players were gambling, but it was mafia families backing them. So if the mafia families are still backing people and still exist, how much crime they getting away with? Oh, we don't talk about that. Simple things. When I say it's built into the culture, if you have a modern car, the back of your car in the trunk, they have an escape hatch, a latch to pull if somebody was trapped in your trunk and they couldn't get out. What do you think that came from? White people snatching people up, killing people, kidnapping people. You know, but let's just act like not a big deal, not a big deal. It's like, oh, okay. Every time you hear about drugs, right? You hear these crazy busts. You people take about drugs, the black people and the drugs, and the black people who are selling the drugs, and it's like, but you're hearing stories about barges, in the ports with record seizure of drugs, 18 wheelers, seizures of drugs, right? People going fishing, finding drugs, right? Like you're hearing all of these, situations about just the drug trade and trafficking that a lot of times white people have a hand in, but it don't really count. Like it was on a ship, that was owned by some white folks. Oh, I don't know. It's on 18 wheeler company owned by some white folks. Oh, well, nobody's ever charged with transporting, right? The gun situation. Oh, so these guns here and guns there, and gun trafficking. And there's shows about it, right? It doesn't count. You know, all the situations where you hear of, um, if you're black and you go and you're in front of a judge, and if you're white in front of a judge, you're gonna do the same. If you did the same exact crime, you're gonna the white person is gonna get significantly less time. Because even the criminal justice system doesn't. Oh, it's a white guy committed a crime. Oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a. That's why they have such long rap sheets and repeat offenders. I know you like to talk about black people who have long rap sheets and repeat offenders, but you don't talk about you know all the white guys. Like, how's this dude still? Oh, we don't even want to get into that, right? You just they're free after all that they've done. It doesn't really count. It's not crime. All the corruption, like I said, in the police departments, vast majority of them, white guys. You remember, to the point where, not that many years ago, in recent times, you know, the FBI put out a study. There are a lot of white supremacists who in law enforcement. We've been knew that as black people. We've been knowing that. That's how it's been since the beginning, to be perfectly honest. But oh, you're infiltrated by white supremacist groups. Not a big deal. It's not. What will there do that will be biased? And then people go, well, you know, people killing black people and police brutality goes up, and it's like, what is the issue? Maybe you should stop committing crime. You never considered the fact that person's probably a neo-Nazi with a badge, and the person didn't really commit a crime. It was just time to get it off. You had the news story recently about them, the correctional officers in New York beating a guy to death on camera. That was handcuffed to a gurney. Not a big deal. It's like, it's just not a big deal. Is it crime? Not so much. Not to mention all the things that go on as far as uh, sexual assault. It's not a big deal. Happens all the time. College campuses, little kids, college campuses, just sex trafficking rings. It's just a normal thing that goes on, buddy. Is it considered crime? No, it's just thrown under the bus. Same thing, I would say. When people talk about media, news coverage, most of it's not covered. Most of the time, when you're going to see criminal activity covered, it's usually black or Hispanic. But then if you read these little neighborhood papers, man, who knew? There's a lot of crime going on here. But the difference is, even in those papers, it's only a front page story if you get somebody black or Hispanic. It's not a front page story if you get somebody that's white. It's a third page story. You get what I'm saying? We're not gonna chill out. So is white crime really crime? Not to mention all the people who get off, get slaps on the wrist or get probation or go home or get they felonies turn into misdemeanors. Like, it's not a big deal. And we see this all the time. We talk about the stupidity of like black folks and young black folks on social media telling on themselves criminally. Just they snitching on themselves. Like, how you getting locked up? Because of your social media posts. We don't talk about all the white guys who be posting all kinds of criminal activity just going home. Like, cops on Instagram just happen to not see that. And then we got to talk about the stereotype of criminality. Where when you black, you look like a suspect. When you white, not, I've been in those situations where I've been around white people stealing, and I didn't see anything. Oh, you didn't see anything? Oh, okay. White people buying drugs, doing drugs, not a big deal. Not a big deal. Guy smoking weed in public, cops drive by, I didn't see him because he white. Guy dealing drugs, we know who it is, but he's white. Drug dealer, bookie, you know what I'm saying? Car thief, you know, trafficker of women and other, guns. It's not a big. They know where they at. They just don't. You know, we don't. We didn't see the bodies. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, this is what we doing. Interesting. Interesting. So when I say, is white crime really crime? I don't think so. It's hard to have fatigue about something that you don't consider wrong. And when people go, well, we do consider it wrong. Nah, you don't punish it like it's wrong. It's too many cover-ups in over the lengthy American history of criminality to say it's wrong. It's too many judges that are paid off, lawyers that know everything, or that are quote unquote dirty lawyers, dirty police officers that are paid off, or in some of these organizations, and politicians that's in on it. Like, it's too much. So obviously it don't count. There's too much of this idea of, if you got wealth and influence, you can get away. There's a young guy that should have got 70 years for sexual assault, like in Oklahoma. But he gets to go home. That's not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that plenty of times. They had whole stories of that going on at white college campuses. The affluenza thing isn't a not normal thing. You get what I'm saying? And even when it's not affluenza, you know, the criminality of, oh, let's just go younger. If kids fight in a school, if black kids fight, it's consequences. If it's white kids fighting, not consequences. If it's black kids fighting white kids, super consequences. You get what I'm saying? It's been like that. So when I say, white crime isn't crime, that's what I'm saying, because it's not treated as criminal behavior, bad behavior is not treated as such. It's, oh, I used to do that back in the day. Like, it's to the point where you got to remember, the last president's son was doing they found drugs in the White House and they knew he was a drug addict. Nothing. That's how rampant it is. It's not looked at as crime. There's shady scandals in the White House with President Trump's family. It doesn't count. Some of the people that are on his board and advisory, then the white collar crime really doesn't count. By the way, all of that scamming and running off with millions and billions of people's dollars, we'll figure something out. So is it really crime? Because you can have black fatigue all you want. That doesn't stop the crime in white America and white communities. It doesn't. It doesn't stop it at all. As a matter of fact, it ignores it, which exacerbates the problem. So what I would say in this sense, white America has far more criminals than they can think about, because most of them are roaming free. But hey, tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.